Hey friends, we've got an exciting announcement to kick this episode off. We are doing another giveaway, and this time we are giving away not one, but two reveal cell cams to one lucky winner, and it only takes 10 seconds to get entered. You can get entered at getdrawnwest.com/giveaway. We've got an entry form there for you. It takes 10 seconds, like I said, but once you're in, then you start stacking up those bonus entries because there's over 100 entries available, which means you're going to have up to 100 times the odds of winning. So make sure you get entered. How the bonuses work: follow or subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you prefer, Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. You're going to get 10 bonus entries. So hit that button, head over to your favorite platform, make sure you're subscribed. If you're already subscribed, you're still going to get credit. Just hit that button and then go back and claim your 10 points. Follow us on Instagram. You're going to get another 10 points. So click the button, head over to Instagram, make sure you're following us, go back, claim your entries. That's another 10. So now we're at 21. Now, from there, you're going to get 20 extra entries for every code word you hear on the podcast and you submit. So later in this episode, we're going to release a code word. When you hear that, head over to getdrawnwest.com/giveaway. Find the episode 21. It's going to have a code word entry. You just type it in, hit submit, boom, 20 more entries. We're going to do 4 of those. So all in all, you can get over 100 entries for the reveal cell cams, the new Ultra model. I've been loving them. We just got a couple set up on our farm as well, and they rock. So do all that. You'll notice we built custom software. I myself coded this so you can know exactly where you are through this giveaway. When we just gave away the Matthews lift, you were emailing stuff into me, and it took forever to go through all those emails. And I know a lot of you were wondering, where do I stand? Did you get my email? How many entries do I have? We fixed all of that because now you can automatically submit your bonus entries and see live how many entries you've got. At the bottom of that sheet, there's going to be a tally, a score tracker, whatever you want to call it. When you type in your email, you can check my entries. It'll tell you how many entries you've got. Makes it a lot easier for you to know where you stand and if you've maxed out your points. So go get entered. We're doing this. It's going to be 2 weeks. We're going to pull a winner. The Reveal Ultra giveaway, I'm super excited for this. Super cool prize, just in time for Christmas, just in time for late season whitetail. You name it, somebody's going to have an awesome November. Here we go. Let's kick this episode off. One tag, 1 week, one shot to make it count. This is for the hunters who hit the road and get after it, no matter the odds. This is Drawn West. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Drawn West podcast brought to you by Go Hunt. Today, we're going to be diving deep into whitetail run and gun setups. You could also use this for elk or antelope or mule deer out west too if you're in a tree. But here is the system that we've been running. I grew up hunting private land whitetails. So I've been hunting tree stands that have been set up for years on end. And last fall, we went to Nebraska with the XOP crew. There's a full film out called Test the West, where we tested out a lot of these new products from XOP, and it really changed my perspective on hunting public land, running gun setups, how efficient you can get into a tree with like gear that's meant for that. You know, instead of big, huge tree stands and big ladder stands. The system's awesome, and so I've been using it, and we're gonna dive in, start with getting this out of the way. Let's talk about the stand first. So one of the things with this stand, this is the Roam. It's a newer stand from XOP. It's got a milled aluminum platform, so it cuts out a lot of the excess material, makes it really light. I really love the size for a run and gun stand. I can flip down the seat, sit down. I have plenty of platform space. I can turn around, saddle hunt. It's got shelf lock, which I think is a must if you're running this kind of hunting system. The shelf lock is great. Nice padded cushion there. I really like that. It doesn't come with the blaze orange around the edge. If you're watching this podcast on YouTube or Spotify, I added the blaze orange paracord. It's just my way of sound dampening the edge of the stand. So if something hits it, like a little test here, I'm going to take one of the sticks and I'm banging it, rubbing it, doesn't make any noise compared to up here. huge metal clanks, and so it makes a huge difference. I went with Blaze Orange. I know that's a bold choice for a tree stand, but honestly, I'm never going to leave this on public land overnight, so I'm not worried about anyone stealing it. And if someone sees me, they're that close that they're seeing the stand, I want them to know I'm there. So you don't hunt by me, you don't blow my setup any more than you already have, or don't shoot in my direction. So I'm not too worried about it. I really like the aesthetic, the way the orange looks with that like gunmetal gray. So I went with that. Diving in a little bit more on the back side of this, we've got the Gamma. This is the stand carrier, so it serves as your backpack. It's your load shelf system, so any weight you put on here gets transferred to your backpack. The Gamma, the hip belts take a lot of the weight. In Test the West, Brock shot a doe, and we packed half of it out on a Gamma with this basically same system, and it worked phenomenally well. So I really like it. It attaches to the stand really easy if you've never used something like this. There's just 4 points right here. You feed these clips around your platform, pick the best fitting spot, and then just tighten them down. And that secures the Gamma to your stand. And then you have some load straps or, buckle straps to keep all your stuff on your stand. So whether you're going for an all-day sit and you got a backpack and then your sticks, you can buckle all that down. I have thought about maybe customizing and adding my sticks down here like this. I just don't know if I like how much they're going to stick out. I typically put my backpack down, then I put my sticks down. I put this end, because it's smooth, down first, so the smooth side hits the seat, and then I strap everything down, and it's a really nice system, and I'll show you that by the time we're done. But this is the stand. I think it's a perfect size. You can sit in it as a tree stand all day long. You can saddle hunt it. It's got everything you need it to do. Shelf lock is super simple. You just take this knob down here, give it a quarter turn, and it unlocks, and now you've got your seat. When it's time to leave, flip it around, line it up.
Hey friends, if you're listening to this podcast, I know you're an avid hunter just like myself, and we are always looking to get more time in the woods each season. One of the ways that's helped me get more time in the stand is by using Maverick hunting blinds. When I'm comfortable, I stay in the stand longer and I'm more focused on deer. I don't turn around so my hood cuts the wind. I'm not taking shelter from the rain. And the best way to stay comfortable is with a hard-sided blind. And my favorite is Maverick's XL blind, which allows me to rifle hunt, bow hunt out at the same stand. The best part is Maverick has a blind for every spot. So whether you're looking for a rifle-only option or a bow and rifle, even a round blind to cut down some of that wind resistance, Maverick has you covered. No matter which option you go with, you're going to be comfortable and sit longer in the stand for all of your upcoming hunting seasons. Go to maverickhunting.com and use the code DRAWNWEST, that's one word, DRAWNWEST, to get 10% off your next blind and elevate platform.
Lock it in, and it's locked. So that's the stand, the new Roam, the shelf lock. Now, on this side of the Gamma, I've got 2 hip pockets that I use. On the left hip pocket's the pocket I get into first. And so that is, I got in here 2 HFAS. These are the rope systems that attach my sticks. So if I flip this down so we just get a better visibility, grab your sticks. These X2 sticks are the ones that I'm using right now. I think they're the perfect size. And I'll get into why, but I only carry 2 sticks nowadays. That's all I need. They nest beautifully, so they're nested in there. All you have to do to unnest them is slide this clip up. That's what holds the button of the bottom stick, the little spoon, in. So slide that up and they unnest. So take one of these HFAS. They come with a little shock cord to keep them nice and organized when you're not using them, but I just drop it down. I come in here, I find the end quick. I don't leave this on because I think it's a lot more neat and organized if I take all my ropes and stuff off. So I just find this button. I always double loop it just like that. I hook it on the stick and I reach around the tree and I use the stick to extend my arms. Come back around. There's a loop on the other side right here. Loop that in, and then you just pull this and there's this little clip here that pushes your Prusik knot and that's how you tighten up your X2 and your HFAS, or I don't know, I always call them the HFAS. But I gotta loosen this Prusik knot up a little bit so it actually works. It was really tight from the last time we used it. So right there you got it. When it's time to leave, you just pop your stick up and take your rope off. So when I get out of the tree, so when I get to the tree, I'm taking my 2 sticks apart. I take these out, I put them in my pocket so I have them. The first stick, I'm actually putting on the tree, standing on the ground. I'm not up yet. So I take this stick, I go about as high as I can reach, to be honest with you. Probably about this high. That's probably button at 6 feet. And then when this is on the tree, the reason I only need 2 of these is because I'm rocking these aiders. So these are 3-step aiders. They come with shock cord again, so you have a nice way to keep them organized. For anyone that's never used an aider before, an aider is just a cloth ladder or a fabric ladder. So it's really lightweight, it packs down really small. I just loop them on these sticks right here like this, and now my 2-step stick turns into a 5-step system that ranges basically 6 feet. My arm span is a little over 6 feet. This is about 6 feet. So 2 of these is 12 feet. Add maybe 18 inches on the bottom for your first step. Maybe 15 to 18 inches in between the 2, and maybe 15 inches for your top step. You can get the base of your platform to 15 feet with 2 of these. And that's basically all I ever go. I don't really go super high, but if you wanted to, you could just add a 3rd, and now you're probably at 22 feet, 23 feet. So that's my stick, right? So when I get to the tree, I put the first one on, I have the first rope, I have the first aider. The second one, the second rope, and the second aider, I put in one of my pants pockets. And now I'm gonna start climbing the tree. So this is already gone, right? We've already gotten through 1 HFAS, 1 aider, and 1 stick. So I'm just gonna put this down for a second, and I'm gonna talk about how I'm going up the tree one time. I only go up the tree one time, and by the time I'm done, I'm in the tree. So, a couple things comes to that. So the saddle, and I'm gonna flip this up. You know, this will still be on my back right now, but I'll get into the saddle. So now I'm putting the saddle on. I'm rocking, I think this is a Mutant saddle. It's either, yeah, it's the Mutant. So here's my saddle system. I'm just using the green rope that it comes with for my lifeline or my lineman's belt. For my tether, I'm using the Predator. Predator's way better for a tether. It's got the plastic slide buckle to help you cinch it up. I really like that. So I got my tether, and I just always loop that into one of these webbed spots. So it's just hanging off the side on the right side. On the left side, I've got one of these XOP clips to hold my second X2. So I take my button, my clip, I just slide that in, and now that's locked in, hanging on the side of my hip, ready to go. I've got my second aider and my second HFAS in my pocket, and I'm wearing my harness now. The last thing, take my bow rope. This is just a paracord rope with 2 tiny little swivel clips on them. This I will take off, you know, hook up my bow. I have a big loop right here, and I just loop it around, usually my riser. And I have a big loop, so that way it rests on the rope and not on the metal clip, so it doesn't scratch my bow. But I'll take that off, hook up my bow. This is on the other end, same system. Little clip, little loop. This stays permanently on my saddle right here, like this. It's always like that. And so when I get my bow up the tree, and as you can see, it's tangled right now because I'm showing you guys how to use it. I can show you really fast a little trick that I found while hunting with Brock. Brock taught me this, is you take this, you take my 2 ends. This is the end that my bow goes on. This is the end that stays attached to my bag. I put them in my hand, right like that. And from there, I just X-weave. Sorry. This is all messed up because I usually do this. I'm used to doing it when it's on my hip. I'm not used to doing it while it's on this table. But for the folks that are listening, I got my bow cord. I got both ends in my hand, and I just go between my thumb and my pinky, and I just start Xing each lap through here. Sorry about this, folks. It's just annoying to do this backwards. So there you go. And I'm just Xing. As you can see, I'm crossing, figure eights between my thumb and my pinky. And what this does is it's crossed over. So when I go to drop this, it automatically unweaves itself and it doesn't tangle up. When I get to the end, I've got this little loop. I just flip it around here, this whole thing. And then I come through the top figure eight, through the middle of the top figure eight, kind of like how you would wrap up an extension cord. And I got that loop. And I just snap this into also the same snap that holds it on my harness, and it just sits like that. So now I'm wearing this. I'm going up the tree. When I get to my top step of my first stick, so I'm standing on this top step. Now, this top step of the second stick, I reach down, grab this out of my belt, and do the same process again. About as high as I can reach, I take my HFAS, I flip it around, I tie that off. Now, I take my aider, I undo that, I hook it on. That aider falls down to about 16 inches above my second or my first stick, and I just go all the way up. When I get to the top, now back on my Gamma in my other hip pocket, I've got my 2 micro buckles, the C3 micros. So this is now how I hold my stand to the tree. So I'm only going to take one out for right now. So I'm sitting, lineman's belt around the tree. I'm leaning back into my harness. I have both hands free. What I will do at this point, I'll take my backpack off. I put it across my lap, kind of where my lineman's belt goes around the tree. I unhook the backpack part, and I put the backpack back on without my stand. And so now I'm wearing my backpack only again. I've got the stand in front of me. It's kind of resting on my lineman's rope. And I'll do the same thing as I did with the X2s and the HFAS. I come in here, I get my platform up, I take the top button. I always start with the top button. I think all of us do when we set a tree stand. I put this loop on, wrap it around the tooth, take my stand, go around the tree, extend my arm, grab that rope. I come back over here, loop on this other side to this button, get it nice and square on there, and then I just tighten it down, cinch it down just like that, and now it's on the tree. The last thing I do, I always try to cam this in, I think is the proper term. So it's on the tree, I flip this down so there's less space right here. I cinch this down into the tree, then I push the platform down flat, and it bites these teeth in really hard. And honestly, sometimes I only run one. I think you're supposed to run 2, but a lot of times I'll only run one of these. So now, platform set, get in the platform, string my bow all the way up, that's down on the ground. And from there, the only last thing I really do is I hang my bow. So this is a bow hanger that I actually built myself. I think they're coming out, they're working on some designs. But I've been always tired with how do you hang your bow in public land? Because we can't screw in sticks here on our farm, or on our public land here in Minnesota. So I built this bow hanger. So it's just made out of little 1/2-inch tube from Menards, a couple of nylon washers. I bent the end of it, bolted it together, drilled some holes. And so now I got a bow hanger that swivels and swings. I just take this, same thing as everything else. I take this around the tree, grab this rope, I come in here, and I just basically do a buckleless system knot. If you've never heard of the buckleless system, it's just a way of securing things without using a buckle. So I come in here, I wrap it around, and then I come back in here and cinch it in, and it kind of makes a knot. And then same thing, I'll slide this down, tension it, cam it into the tree so it's got a lot of tension, and I hang my bow on it. Hoist my bow up, put it on the hanger that I just hung, and I'm hunting. So that's the system. It's really fast. I know it's probably easiest for the folks on YouTube to see what I'm doing here. But with that system, I can go up a tree in as little as 5 or 10 minutes, which is really good, honestly, for public land. So that's my system. Now, here's one thing I wanted to go through. I want to show you guys how it all stacks together, because that's the key, right? How does this all stack together? So when I get out of the tree, I'm on the ground, I did everything in reverse. The first thing that I always do is I take my saddle off, especially if I have to walk a long ways. So I take the saddle off, I lay it nice and flat on the ground. I take my ropes that are wound up nice and hanging on the side, and I fold them in just like this, fold in my bow hoist. I roll this up so it's pretty nice and neat. So I got a nice saddle. In my pack, there's a pocket right here on the outside. It's easy because it's the first thing that comes out, and I can get into this without taking apart my whole backpack. I put my saddle right in this compartment, and it's a kind of a tight squeeze, but it works. You can get the whole thing in, and I zip it down, and there my saddle is in like a very external part of the stand. My aiders, I put my aiders in the same side pocket that my bow hoist goes in, or not my bow hoist, sorry, my bow hanger, because the reason for that is I never need my bow hanger before I need my aiders, because I need to get in the tree before I can set up the tree. So bow hoist goes in first while I'm up in the tree. My two aiders are folded up and they go in after the bow hanger. I might have said bow hoist again, I'm sorry. Bow hanger goes in first while I'm up in the tree still. My hangers, my aiders, when I'm at the bottom of the tree, I take them out of my pocket. I usually just put them in my pocket till I'm on the ground. I scrunch them up, kind of get your own folding system. Take the shock cord, go around. This keeps them nice and tidy. Those go in the pocket second. So when I get to the next tree that I want to get into, the next day, that evening, you name it, first thing that comes out are the aiders. The second thing that comes out is the hanger. So that's on this side. On the other side, I'll usually have my grunt tube, rattle, bag. Sometimes I'll switch to rattle antlers if I really think I'm going to get into some rattling. And then I'll just put these over the top somehow, like this, and strap them in. Or otherwise, I'm just using the little rattle bag itself. So that's my bag, and then obviously headlamp, other things, knife, that's all in my bag. So your bag is set for the most part. Come over here to my stand. I'm gonna put my HFASs back. I think one of them's right here. Put this back. Take the other one. Whenever I do pretty much anything, when I'm wrapping them up, I take both ends at the same time, and I just keep folding that rope in half until it's the right size. Then I take the shock cord, go around.
Hey folks, it's time for the fourth and final code word of this Reveal Ultra Cell Cam giveaway. And if you have made it this far and you don't know what I'm talking about and you're not entered yet, you gotta go get entered. We are giving away not one, but two brand new Reveal Cell Cams, the Ultra models. Super awesome camera. You can get signed up at getdrawnwest.com/giveaway. There's a whole bunch of ways you can earn a bunch of points. This is the last code word. So if you've got everything done and entered and claimed up until now, this will put you over 100 entries. And this week's code word is Roam. You know we got to show our XOP friends some love. And the Roam is the stand Abby and I have been loving this fall. Great code word to round off this week's episode. And if you've missed any of the previous episodes, there's 4 code words in total, episodes 21, 22, 23, and this one, episode 24. So when this is over, head over to getdrawnwest.com. Sorry about that. Getdrawnwest.com/giveaway. Enter the 4th code word. You're going to get 20 extra entries. Now, back to the show.
Twice to keep it organized. And that goes in my left pocket. My C3 micro buckles go in my right pocket. Same thing, grab both ends of the C3 Micro, one hand, just fold it in half. That way it always gets down to the same exact size. So this system, pretty simple. Take it, get it all the way around. I don't have any hair, but if you had hair and you knew how to work a hair braid, it'd be really easy. This goes on my right side. Both C3s on my right hip belt pocket, both micro buckles on the left side hip bucket or pocket. All right, so then next thing I do, I've got my backpack all set up. I've got my stand all set up. Take my sticks, just nest them again, same way as before. Move this kind of slid down on me. Slide this over the button of the little spoon or the interior stick. Now these are locked together. So I got that ready to go. Try to set that down. All right, so then this is how I go, because this is the same order. I put things in the reverse order that I take them off. So that way when I get to the next tree, everything's ready to go. So what I do, I lay my Gamma down. I put my shelf lock together. Right now it's not enabled. Now it's enabled. I lay my backpack down on my shelf lock on my stand. So this is ready right here. Then I take these two sticks. Very important, I always look for the one that's got this little nub on the bottom of the tube, the riser. And I put this down so that way my foot part doesn't scratch and rip my seat. So take this, put this down. I always put the V's up. And then the Gamma, the nice thing about the Gamma is it's got these buckle straps on the stand. That's not the right one, it's probably, usually I'm looking at this from the other side. There you go. These buckle straps, take these and cinch them down. And I usually cinch them pretty darn good, to be honest. There's 3 of them, and you can always add more if you think you need more. I just take these 3 straps, cinch them down just like this. And now what you've done is you've basically done a big bear hug and cinched your backpack, your sticks, and everything else to your stand. And there you go. There is your run and gun stand setup. Sometimes you gotta make sure your straps aren't hanging out all silly. But just like that, you're ready to go. It's all connected through the Gamma and the platform. And it's one nice compact stand, nothing's hanging out. It's a super nice system. Everything you need to get 16 feet in a tree, 15, 16 feet in a tree, right there. It's not going anywhere. It's perfect for run and gun. And that's what we've been running. We've been really liking it. It works super well. The X2s, the Roam, all of that works great. So that's our system. It works really good. Give it a try. If you haven't tried run and gun whitetail hunting, even on private land, there's places on our back 40 farm here where we live where I would take this just because we don't have a million stands and maybe I want to move a couple trees. Maybe we got a different wind and I know which trail the deer are going to come in on, but I just need to go on the other side of it in a different tree just to hunt a different wind. I do that all the time with our main food plot. If there's a north wind, I'll hunt the south side of it. If there's a south wind, I'll hunt the north side of it. And I just get into a different tree. And this system is the best system so far that I've used to get in there. Everything you need right there. Just pop it on your shoulder, just like so, and you're ready to rock and roll. And it's super light, to be honest. That feels amazing. So, get to the truck, put it on the tailgate. Don't even have to do anything. Don't have to take anything out. Everything's ready to go for the next day. So, that's our system. Thank you for watching, folks. And until next time, stay drawn.